everybody. We have a special live podcast. And a special guest tonight is Malik Rosier. Malik Rosier is our guest. Miami USF tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. This is sponsored by Lorraine Sports. And give Kings Connection a look at. Go to their site, kingsconnection.com. Register to be a member there. Preview USF. I'm looking at last week. See in the background there. And I watched USF last week. I talked to Joey Johnston yesterday, and the one thing he stood out to me is we don't turn the ball over. I told him we win. Yes, we win. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think in any ball game, turnovers are important, especially when you play a team like USF. They're going to do a good job of capitalizing. Obviously, Alex Golish knows what he's doing over there at USF. We saw them take it down to the wire, kind of with Alabama, specifically on turnovers. So I think if we can be effective, obviously, in the run and pass game and minimize turnovers, actually create turnovers on them, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. Excuse me just for a second, guys. But yeah, when you look at USF after last week, when you watch them on tape, look how they look at on tape. This was against Southern Miss. USF was absolutely. Describe what you see when you watch USF on film from last week.
Yeah, I would say last week they definitely knew that they were better than their opponent. That's one thing that whenever you go into certain games, right, you're going to know, like you watched Miami last week versus Ball State play very confidently, even versus FAM, right? They knew that athlete for athlete, they were just better. You see that throughout this game. Obviously, Southern Miss made some plays early, but, later on in the game, USF definitely took over. You saw the coaching, the technique, a lot of stuff that, again, kind of kept them in the game versus Alabama, really kind of clicked for them versus Southern Miss. I think it's going to be important for us, one, to beat man coverage. They run a ton of man, but I think we have the quarterback right, and even some of the receivers right. I don't think they'll be able to stay man on Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, Horton, even our tight ends or running backs all game. So I think they're going to make it hard on Cam, some different blitzes for our line, but I think we'll be fine. We have a really strong quarterback.
Yeah, I think so too. When I look at USF, last week, like you said, Malik, you watched them on film. The one that scared me when I watched USF on film, it's not so much Byron Brown. He's very good in his own right. But Wright and Joyner are the two bigger threats, especially on the ground. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, and we talked about a little bit. Obviously, those guys do a good job of making plays in the run game. They're very strong runners. But for me,
that's what they do. They force turnovers. Sorry.
Yeah, but for me, again, we talked about a lot with Cam Ward. Like, who's the spark of the offense, especially for Miami? Cam Ward is. I think the same thing for them, right? Go back and look. Yeah, they had a ton of really good run plays, but to me, whenever this team really gets clicking, right, Brown's able to make plays with his legs, and then again, that opens up runs like that, right? Because now the problem is Byron gets, a couple 10-yard rushes. Now your linebackers are eyes in the wrong spot because they're worried about him pulling the ball, and all of a sudden a guy like Joyner pops.
Yeah.
So to me, they very much complement each other very well in the run game.
Now you see here in the passing game, when I watched him from last week, you see Brown like a 3-4 wide set, goes over the top, finds the receiver in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and they're going to have a lot of this. I think that we have good enough corners and our safeties are good enough to stay with these guys one-on-one. But I'm also interested, if we can create pressure with our front four, do we have to play coverage or do we have to play palms or can we play more of a zone coverage and then react kind of run? So I think a lot of that's going to be how successful our defensive line can really do a good job of reestablishing the line. For the people that haven't watched USF, they do a lot of spread formation. Think about Tennessee, right? They'll have guys, two receiver stacks outside the numbers. So they're way far. So basically you have inside numbers all the way across to kind of run your offense. So they're going to do a good job of spreading us out. So we got to do a great job, really our front four, reestablishing the line.
Oh, yeah. Now, I had another play here when I watched him again. This is from last week. See, Brown, this is what scares you. We were talking about this earlier about Brown, especially in short yardage.
Yeah, quarterback run. Tough guy, gets his head down. Not the biggest quarterback we'll face all year, but someone that to me, it kind of reminds me of myself, right? Not crazy athletic, but has the ability to kind of make plays. A little bit elusive, but I don't think he scares us like a home run. But he is a guy that will pick up 10 to 15 yards.
Yeah, we can't be doing that too. By the way, here in the background here now. Now look at the third quarter. When I watch him here, this is the play we got to run. They did this fake run. Talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, this is just a really good job by them. They got the look they wanted. Obviously, Southern Miss has to do a better job of being on their keys. But I will say for us, I don't necessarily worry about that. I think that in our situation, we might not try to block the field goal. We might say, hey, if you guys make, but we're not going to give you guys an explosive
we're going to make sure we pick that up.
Yep, I agree. And again, they might have something different for us than that. Again, each week everyone's trick plays kind of change. Like I remember every week we had a fake punt or a fake field goal, but it depended week to week what they gave us. Was it the fake punt this week? Was it the fake field goal?
Yeah, that's the one thing I look at. See, one thing we can't do is commit penalties, have stupid penalties.
Yeah, you watch Alabama last week, right, or 2 weeks ago. Really in their game.
That was the pick last week.
Two of the things that really hurt them, one, turnovers, we kind of talked about a little bit. But secondly was penalties. You have Jalen Milroe scrambling outside the pocket, throw the ball down the field 30 yards, and they have a holding call by the offensive lineman. They had a PI throw the ball down the field, another holding call by the offensive lineman. So, again, Alabama hurt themselves more than USF.
This is the big run from joining the last 4 weeks. This is the one we watch. Go back and I'll watch the film. You see here, this is what we got. This is what scares me about USF in their running game.
Yeah, it does. They over-pursued, though. And again, I think our guys do a better job, even when you go back and watch, right? Going on Southern Miss's offensive line or defensive line reestablished. Everyone got pushed. So you already see the pocket. It looks like a quarterback pocket.
Yeah.
So, again, they did a good job of winning at the line of scrimmage, which allows giant holes. I think that's where our defensive linemen.
And that's where we could pick that up, especially Clark. Who's our other guy in the middle there?
Clark, Moten, all those guys.
Yeah.
I don't really see Ruben Bain coming back. I think got some young guys. You got Simeon. So there's some guys down there that they can do a lot of.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. Now, look at the fourth quarter here in this game last week. When, again, this is Brown. This is an empty set. That's an empty set. See that hit? Sorry about that.
That's fine. I was doing too much earlier, too.
Yeah, look at that. That's the big run. That's the big run there. We can't let them do that.
Yeah, I don't think they will. Again, you don't really see any big runs versus Alabama like that. They were more steady down the field, getting a couple chunk plays. But, again, they knew they were better than Southern Miss. They just flat out took it to them.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. They were just – and they dominated them from start to finish. Now, this is the game we were talking about against Bama. We were talking about a little off screen a little earlier. The one thing you weren't concerned about is we won't make the same mistakes Bama made in this game.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've talked about, a lot of people ask me why I think Miami's been really good to start the season. 2 reasons. One, obviously, Cam Ward has played exceptional. But secondly, there wasn't a lot of false starts. There's not a lot of holding, not a lot of illegal motions.
Yeah.
Guys downfield. You see certain teams beat themselves in really big situations because of penalties. You go back and watch the Alabama game. You take away penalties and fumbles, and Alabama runs away with it.
Oh, yeah, they ran away with it in the fourth because they stopped turning the ball over and they established the run. See right here? Now look at the play here. That's the play. He just picks up that block. I think that's what we're going to be doing if Cam does that.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think the one thing that we have a little better than Alabama, I would say, is I think our backs are a little bigger. So I think they do
Martinez,
more damage.
Fletcher.
Yeah.
You got AJ. You got maybe Jordan Lyle there.
Yeah, we got some big backs. And I do like Alabama's back. I think he's a phenomenal running back. No knock on him.
This is what scared me about Brown.
Yeah, a little flicks, but that's what we got to do a good job of rallying and tackling. That's where, again, our guys got to play relentless effort, fly to the football, hit these guys hard.
Hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so, too. And you see how they got the Milroe here?
Yeah, they're getting to him, but again, you go back and watch, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Snap, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. So that's about 4 seconds. And you're talking about a guy that is looking for
and I like Ward. Ward is the kind of guy who can hold 1,004, 1,005, 1,006. Because our line will pick to do their job.
Yeah, and so again, you watch all these pockets. It's not like they're getting to him in a second, right? He has 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, if not 5 seconds.
Really. So to me, that's going to be the big thing is, again, our guys have to win versus man coverage to give ourselves a chance. And I think, again, Cam's ability to improvise outside the pocket will be very good.
Look at this here. Now here, see how they hold the ball, then they go to run.
Yeah, that's a power read.
And a turnover.
Yeah, and the fumble. Again,
don't turn the ball over.
That's how you beat yourself. Third quarter, 14-6.
Yeah.
Turnovers kill you.
This cannot repeat tomorrow night.
I don't think it will. I think our guys will.
Oh, yeah. Keys to the game, Malik, I look at a couple things like no turnovers, stop the run, get Cam going.
Yeah, for me, I would say exploit cover one. I think they're going to line up in it, and if we don't exploit cover one, they're going to stay in all game.
Yeah, and Orlando's going to try to, like you see here, this is again USF. Another thing I think we have to do, see Brown, see how he goes, see how he gets his man open, they got the coverage they wanted.
Sure. And again, you're going to see those guys really spread, right? So even these 2 guys, they're outside the numbers. Yeah. So they run the ball, right? They have a really good run game.
And see right there, he picks that up.
They just got to make the tackle. And again, I think that's where our defensive guys did a really good job open field tackling.
Yeah, that's no doubt about that. I mean, if you watch them on tape, you watch them on film, to me, that they scare me. But I think if we don't turn the ball over, Malik, we win comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes for any game. I think
Yeah,
if
not here.
I think if we don't beat ourselves, right, if we don't have penalties,
See, I picked that up right there. Sorry.
no, you're good. If we don't have penalties or turnovers, we'll beat most teams.
Our four can get home to Brown.
Yeah.
And if our four gets home to Brown, our linebackers can pick up the run like this.
They definitely can. This is more what I expect our type of physical between the tackles, make them not want to. So by the fourth quarter, we're running away with
And
it.
then, and it's only a 1-point game in the third. See how they keep moving the sticks?
I expect to see on the ball like that.
I
And
do
again,
as
we'll
well.
come back with some play action pass. The thing that I saw.
Look at the 3 for 10 on third down up to that point going into the fourth.
Yeah, no, they do a very bad job of
See the phone?
picking up guys whenever they keep it scrambling.
Yeah. I look at that. I look at USA. See that Millwall. Look at the Millwall that was banning. He went to the what was that receiver, the slot guy.
Yeah, it's like
That's going to be X in that situation. Or Jacoby George. I see. Now this is the turnover. See, that's the fumble snap. Now if we're under center, Cam's not going to make that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, someone talks about us going under center, and I just say this: if you have a good run game, you can run it from under center with a shotgun.
Oh yeah, we can run that in the shotgun. See that? See, we can't turn the ball over. When you're in the red zone like this, see how the back it's like a 1-3 set, 1-2 set.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I gotta tell you, we don't turn it over, we win. It's just that simple. Now look at this next play coming up. That's the punt. On 4th and 1. Now this was a good return by Alabama here. And then fourth special teams coverage. Do you think we're going to have Ray get an opportunity like this?
He will. I think it'll be interesting if they kick to him, but I think he could have done.
Now there's no running the football. He took over in the fourth quarter of this game. I expect if it's close, I expect Cam to do the same.
Yeah, but I don't think Cam runs like Millwall. I expect Cam to throw it, but Cam's not a Millwall type of runner.
No.
He can run.
But you know what he is? He reminds me of? He reminds me, and I kid you not about this, Malik.
To me, this is more what we need.
Okay.
So a guy catches it at, let's see,
he's at the
maybe 7 yards.
Yeah.
And he breaks a tackle.
Yeah.
To me, that's what we need. Broken tackles.
And that'll be what? That'll be Xavier. That's what I'm sorry about. Yeah. That was the phone that just dropped. Sorry about that, folks.
That could be X. That could be Horton. That could be really any of them.
Look at the job the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, all they're doing is running mesh, right? Versus Florida, we saw Cam hit the tight end.
Yeah.
Now he's just hitting the TP, the right over the top.
Yeah.
So again, I think there's a lot of options in the red zone. These guys, again, they struggle versus rub routes. They struggle versus man pickers and man beaters. They also struggle on getting or really finding the receivers after a scramble.
Yeah, absolutely. Now here's when I watch USF here. Now see what they did. They finished it off. And this is what USF went for the field, but we took the field goal in this situation. What were your thoughts when you saw that? 6 minutes to go, down only 5. You catch 22 there.
I like it because your defense has been playing good. If you don't get the touchdown, you take momentum out of your hands.
Yeah, and credit Alabama. In this
and Alabama, they just took over late.
See how they. Now this is what you were talking about with the holes opening up here.
Yeah, and again, late in the game, big holes. You can see there, the linemen are 4 yards down to a blocking guy. You can tell Florida, USF right now, they got heavy feet. They look like they can't run.
And I think we have to do this tomorrow night. Get the heavy feet early. I think
it'd be hard. I mean, these guys are going to be well rested. They're going to be amped up. I think the first half.
And I think that crowd's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, and I think the first half, I don't want to say we'll be close, but I think you're going to see them flying around the first half a lot faster than the second half, especially with the run game, making plays. I know a lot of guys want to see big home run from the first half, but I think, again, Mario's more of a slow play guy. Yeah. He's gonna wear him out over time, and again, you'll see more of the big runs happen second quarter.
Here's what they look. Here's what Bama got better at. They got better at stopping the pass, not of making Brown have to beat him throwing.
Yeah, and I think that's what we have to do. This guy can't make throws, but I think if you make it in tight coverage and make it really hard on him, we'll have our way with USF.
Now here's right here. So I see that's the right. He went through to this guy here. Here outside the number. Yeah, that was the receiver. Now look at him. He beats. See, we can't see who's our corner on the left side.
They they kind of flop. Could be OJ. Again, I think the biggest thing is if your defensive line puts pressure in his face, sometimes he can't.
Yeah, like that. See, that's what Bama did that late in the game. Now this is what happens. See the home run goal right here. See the home run play. The tackle sees the heavy feet. That's when they got the heavy feet late. Right there.
And again, yeah, we saw it a couple times, right? Those guys had heavy feet. They can't make tackles. They're whiffing a lot of times. But again, you saw the first half. You were saying they're flying up, hitting people. Second half, they're missing people, sliding off guys. So again, that's just Alabama's conditioning, their strength program, kind of taking over in the second half.
Yeah, and I think in the fourth, and I think Malik is going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think if it comes to me, if it's close, I trust. I was going to say this. Cam Moore reminds me, and see if you see in the first 3 games. Doesn't he remind you of a young Patrick Mahomes?
To a sense, I think Cam's a little more developed than Patrick Mahomes. Now, again, I'm not saying he'll be better than Patrick.
No.
In college, yes.
At this stage in his career.
When you watch Patrick, and Patrick even says it himself, right? Like, I think it was his second year as a starter for KC.
Yeah.
I'm just now learning how to play quarterback. So, again, we're talking about IQ, a lot of things that, again, Patrick was more of a phenomenal arm talent, but had to learn how to play quarterback. Cam's more of, I know how to play quarterback, and now I'm showing off my arm talent.
Yeah, what about maybe a young Baker Mayfield to an extent?
I would honestly say I would compare him to Baker. To me, the quarterback that he most resembles he's like a Kyler Murray that doesn't run as much. Taller Kyler, again, we're talking about Kyler Murray, quick twitch, making throws, making guys miss. He's very elusive. Almost got Houdini trying to act. That was Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
But again, Kyler was way more of a runner than Cam. Obviously, Cam's still taller. So it's little differences. But
yeah.
I think you're talking about a guy that, again, Kyler would catch it and whip it from whatever angle because he's a baseball player.
Yeah.
He's able to throw from different arm angles, one thing that Cam does very well. I think, to me, that'd be a comparison. Not Patrick Mahomes and Kyler on just the arm angles and the throws he can make.
All right, man. Malik, I'm going to get you out of here. Prediction for tomorrow.
My prediction, again, I watched a lot of film. I don't expect us to have as much turnovers. I was in the 40s, but I think if Cam Ward plays all 4 quarters, I have Miami like 52 to about 17.
If we don't turn the ball over like Bama, they turned it over 3 times. I think we win this game comfortably. But if it's close, and I told Joey Johnston this yesterday, if it's close, I trust Cam Ward to make a big play in the fourth quarter when we need it on the road. I'm going to go Canes 35, USF 28. That's going to be a little misleading, but I think USF is going to make it closer late. But I think Cam Ward's going to get 1 or 2 big plays to seal the victory.
See, I think if it's close, the guy that I have a ton of faith in Cam, but the guy that I think I'll put my faith is, I think the guy that's going to come down to is going to be Andy. I think the field goal game.
If it's a close game.
If it's a close game, I think it's one of those, we're going to have to play field positioning and take our field goals, and again, we pop them. But to me, I don't expect the game to be close. I think that if they play us in cover 1 man, by the second quarter, they'll get out of it because we're going to be running all over the field.
Yeah, and Todd Orlando's going to throw different looks. We all know what he's going to throw at us. All right, listen, Malik, thank you so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the game tomorrow. By the way, if you come if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We get good guests like this. We greatly appreciate it, and it helps my channel out. If you want to donate via PayPal or Cash App, that link I'll put that in the description so you can donate if you like the content you see. Thank you very much for coming on. See you at Raymond James tomorrow night, 7 o'clock kick, ESPN, and have a good night, folks. If you're here in McDivitt's, come on out. We're here till about 8, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night, folks.